Hello, this is NavajoSmite, the coach for the SCC team, Team Elevate. I am here joined by Dishonored Smite. We're going to be going over some Smite Prime games today. Just doing a little bit of deeper analysis and whatnot, talking about competitive Smite and how teams can coordinate their gameplay. It is important to note neither of these teams are the team I coach. These are just two teams that I randomly chose from the most recent Smite Prime tournament. Well, Leo, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Hey, my name is Dishonored. I was the SML solo laner for Exilium last year, Season 6, and I am currently competing the SOC this year. You also may know me from my streams, Dishonored_SM, if you want to, get some solo lane tips.
Way to get that plug in. That's good.
Yep.
So we're going to skip picks and bans. I'm not going to focus on that too much. I really just want to look at gameplay. Only thing interesting about these picks and bans is the Nike solo, the Afro mid. Both teams scale really well into the late game, so I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of team fighting, but nothing else really to note. Agreed.
Yeah, there's also just been a lot of Nike jungle in the SPL. It's kind of weird to see her in the solo lane here, but it is Uzi, so not surprising.
Uzi does enjoy it. He has like his comfort picks, and Nike is one of them. But yeah, they might have picked Nike. If I remember correctly, they second picked it, so they might have picked it early, intending to flex it between jungle and solo, which is reasonable, especially if you have Uzi on your team and he likes that god so much. Makes sense to me.
Sure.
So coming out the gates here, I don't expect to see much aggression and duo from either team. I don't see either team like invading with this 2v2. It's about even, I think. Jungle, the only thing is going to be Susanna's early clear, and it looks like he's not going for Hog, which is going to slow down his clear even more. Susanna's clear is pretty ass at level 1, am I correct?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, especially with the change to his 3. He's like one of those characters that like really relies on Hog right now, especially after the nerf.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting to see, because now he's going to slow himself a lot. And I'll tell you, just from what I've seen in SPL and whatnot, early mid pressure seems to be very prioritized. The ability to get your jungler to mid and push in that wave. And if the enemy mid isn't able to match that, sometimes they'll just like invade the red. So that could be something to keep an eye on in this game. And it also looks, just from the way that they're posturing, that Sobek is maybe even starting as blue, which is going to speed up that clear even further. As we recently discussed, it doesn't really help the solo laner that much to start as blue, but it does get your jungler to mid a lot faster. So that plus a Hog, he should be there way earlier. And then
yeah,
either...
Nike.
Go ahead.
Nike starting in lane also just like it just rails her Susanoo even more, because like he'll just be like so slow to get to those mid camps, and they'll just have like so much mid pressure.
You
like,
can see Hoonbots is using his ability, and Susanoo hasn't even gotten there yet.
Yeah, he just finished blue. That's so bad for them.
So they didn't get to. It doesn't look like they're going to be doing any type of red invade because Susanoo is here now. But at least they did get the mid camps. That is getting something out of their early pressure, taking advantage of it at least to some extent, getting that neutral farm. This is kind of interesting. I don't think that's super efficient. I think that you should probably just split both. Go the 2 for 2. Hoonbots is going to go to backs. It's better for your mid laner, worse for him. Duo lane, everything is chilling so far. It is interesting, the support ended up getting beads. So did the jungle. I guess that's both just to not die to the Hoonbots ults early, is what I'd imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's going to come and do a little gank because he didn't go to mid, so he's going to try to go for something over here. Getting good damage onto the Ganesha. That was clean.
Ganesh actually gets his silence level 2, which I think is like really weird.
Did he really?
Yeah, he got his silence level 2.
That is super weird. Yeah, if he gets his 3, he might actually live there.
Yeah.
The other thing that's important there, though, is so, like, in terms of team play, let's pause real fast. So in terms of team play, right? So I'm a mid laner, and I see the enemy mid and jungle head into left, and then the mid walks back in and the jungler doesn't. That should be communicated to your duo lane immediately, that, like, the jungler is still missing, has not come back to mid, because that, like, pretty clearly telegraphs this gank, and they should have known that the Hoonbots was hovering in left jungle. Right? And they could have played accordingly. It is nice, it is important to point out that the mid and jungle for the Order team, the Susanoo and the Afro, did invade, so they do get something across the map. If my duo lane hadn't died to that gank, they would have stolen backs for free pretty much.
Yeah, if they don't die to that gank there, it's just really bad for the Hoonbots.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if it's really bad. Like, it doesn't, like, he's not missing speed or anything, but it is definitely, like, suboptimal farming for him, and he put himself a little bit behind. He did get mids earlier though, so like he wouldn't be out of the game.
It makes up for it.
Yeah, so like he wouldn't be out of the game. So I think it's a pretty good gank to look for him. But like if he doesn't get that kill, then yeah, he definitely looks off a lot worse for it. The Oracles still have not been dropped by either team either. Uzi's kind of posturing up, gets a ward out. I guess he's pretty safe, so he doesn't have to be afraid. The Hoonbots does go speed to blue instead of going speed to mid, so they don't get to contest these. They're losing neutral farm right off the bat, which kind of stinks. Especially because they had timer on this. I feel like maybe they could have contested that. Let's see. Hoonbots had already got his back in. Susano hadn't, so he had boots 2 on him. I don't know. Feels like we could have definitely contested those.
Yeah, I guess they just feared the Sobek's blue to get invaded. Which makes sense. But...
I don't know. Sobek was full health. I don't think that you need to go over there. I think that they should have prioritized the neutral farm a little bit heavier. Because what are the actual chances that a level 3 Nike is going to go like invade that blue when Sobek's full health? Right.
Yeah,
and if he
full
does,
health with no mana is a thing.
He didn't have that little mana earlier.
Did
Now,
he
like,
not?
no, he didn't. He had more like half health. But like, look at this. Now they get oracles. They got mids. They got them both like neutral farm. And so like, despite the fact that we have a first blood, like, I expect the chart is gonna shoot up in a second. See, like it's up to like 180. Like the gold's not even that far ahead. First blood is worth 400, not including the assist. So they should be like further ahead. And Khepri is out of dual lane. Both supports are leaving dual lane already. This is the most awkward point in the game as a support when you're not level 5 but you don't want to go back to lane.
A little 1v1 action here.
A little 1v1. I saw Oswald go in. Oswald does have
Cool.
ult, so like he had the level 5 advantage, so he can play pretty aggressively there. Ooh. Ooh.
Get his beads. He should be dead here. No, he lives.
God, you
Nope,
think
he's
Oswald
dead.
lets him live? So that was pretty good. I'm pretty sure that Pepe didn't get seen. The Khepri here didn't get seen by this ward. He like pathed right to the wall, so I think it's just kind of lucky by him. I don't think he knew that a ward was there. But yeah, unfortunately for the X-Ball, he gets picked off there. Hui gets his dash by going in aggressively earlier, and then the Khepri comes over and finishes it off. Good rotation by them. But that's pretty bad for the whatchamacallit, the X-Ball. Because he missed most of that wave. I wonder if they could have looked for like a purple invade there. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's kind of weird to get a kill and then not look for like anything at all, you know what I mean? Call over the jungler maybe and look for it. You have Hoonbot's ult, you have Khepri ult still. Hui still has beads. Like I feel like that's a fairly safe invade for them to look for. But I mean, if they come over, you're still at a 4v3 even if you don't have your Hunter ult, you know? But maybe Hoonbots couldn't be there for some reason, or maybe the Disco couldn't.
I think he was busy getting the blue buff for Sobek.
Sure.
So he just wasn't on that side. That could have been it.
Could have been. I wonder if they knew where the, whatchamacallit was, the Susano. Let's watch this in first person. Let's get some good camera going here.
It's pretty unnecessary ult, I'd say.
From who? The Hoon?
Yeah.
I feel like it's fine. When was it? I don't know when Nike's jump was because we didn't see it. I feel like it's definitely just fine to ult that. But again, we're not getting any neutral farm, which kind of stinks. I guess the kill is worth it, but like, I'm a big fan of neutral farm. That was well played by Josh. Meanwhile, on the left, yeah, this guy no beads. This guy should just be dead.
X-Ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has no beads, so he's just dead whenever the enemy team makes a rotation. He doesn't have wards out. Like, his team hasn't put out any wards to, like, help him.
That's just the lack of vision is all that is.
Yeah. I wonder how many wards we do have put out. A pretty good amount. I feel like they should just be prioritizing to help him there if you know that his beads are down. I mean, we are still... They have now gotten these back-to-back, though. So, like, this lead definitely should be bigger for the red team.
Oh, yeah. Definitely just inefficient farming, I think.
Wait, did Nike get this? No, she didn't.
I don't.
Okay.
No.
I would have been upset. We're gonna speed up a little bit, look for the next thing. We do have a lot of Sentry Wards coming out of the red team, which I like. They have a lead, so like maintaining Sentry Wards is really good to deny vision on the map. I would have preferred to place it more aggressively than right here. This is fine, I guess, because it does cover your pathing, but like, I also think that you could have placed it maybe up here, and then like tried to coordinate like some red invades, right? Because we have really good rewards out, so we want to use those. Like, do I really care that they see me here? I don't really know. Not if I'm going for the red, you know?
It should be fine. I mean, I think blue team should just try to look for fights whenever Hunbot's ult is down, which they aren't doing, honestly.
Yeah, but it's really hard to fight into like this team comp when you're behind, like with the Kepri and everything. It's really hard to like find a fight there.
Yeah, I
You
feel
pretty
like
much have to kill someone twice.
blue team's comp doesn't really have like a defined like place to play off of.
Yeah, I don't feel like either team does, honestly. And if the Hui hadn't managed to get a slight like lead and then some ganks off, then they wouldn't like have a place to play either. Like the matchup Hui versus X-Ball is pretty much a draw. It was just that early gank by the Hoonbots, the early like rotation that was enabled by having your jungler get to mid so much faster. He made good use of it.
Honestly, just the start that they had was pretty bad for blue team.
That is unfortunate.
I think it did hurt them a lot.
I feel like Disco ult there is like really bad unless the Hoonbots is gonna ult. That was like misplayed by them. Let's rewatch it. It was at like 8 minutes. So like, you know that Dishonored has beads, or at least you should at this point, right? It should have been called out within the first like minute of the game. Check what the jungler has whenever he shows up on the ward in blue. And then you just say, you know, to your team, he has beads, he has blink, whatever. So we know that he has beads, but you could definitely look to trade for them at least. Like if you're gonna ult, like use Hoonbot's ult here, Disco ult is like pretty meh, I think. To just throw out there like that.
I think he was just waiting for the Kepri to pluck, but he got silenced. That's really what happened there.
Maybe the Kepri was like calling that he had it, yeah. Maybe he's calling like I'll pluck type thing. That would have been okay. But even then, like, I don't know if the Disco, I feel like you're just getting beads off of that fight. That's really good.
Goes Nike
Pick
again.
on Uzi. He should have known again. This is the same thing. Should have been communicated that Hoonbots was in right jungle. He clearly walked there in front of everyone. I feel like blue team is struggling to track the enemy jungler a little bit and call that out from mid.
For sure.
But yeah, just in that like 3v3. So a lot of the times in like 3v3s in mid and whatnot, if you have like beads on these characters they're playing so defensively, it's a really long cooldown, 160. Even Hoonbots after the nerf is only a 120 second cooldown now, right? Went up from being 100. So like you can still take advantage of that 40 second time frame and just drop your ult, get beads, and then the next time you might have it, right? So I don't know if I ever used Disco ult for that, because like what situation is this guy not beadsing and getting out, you know? So it kind of just feels like a waste of an ult. I don't think you had the damage to burst from there.
Let's look at these builds here. We have a Blackthorn Hammer coming out of Nike. I think that's fine. Gives her CDR health that she needs for her ult.
Yeah, it's tough playing solo against like magical and physical damage. How do you usually like to do that? Do you prioritize like the jungle defense, or do you prioritize like your lane matchup?
I think Glad Shield is still fine, just because like it helps you sustain in lane, even if you're against the magical, but it also just helps you if you get like ganked by a jungler.
Yeah, but you don't really go Glad on Nike, right? So that's probably why you went something else.
Nah, you never really go Glads. I honestly think Blackthorn is fine, even like maybe like a breastplate, because like against in this lane you're not like looking to like, you know, fight this shit. Like no one's gonna die in this lane. It's just a farm fest.
Yeah, it's just the rotations that are killing the Nike here so far.
So yeah, I think if he goes breastplate, it's just much better for him instead of the Blackthorn Hammer.
Yeah. Well, let's see what the lead is looking like. I just feel like this should be a way bigger number if you're 5-0. Like if you're cleanly like taking the map right, like this is a lot of fighting, but they haven't. I don't think there's been a single buff invade, right? And most of the neutral farm has gone the enemy's way. Like, probably 80% of the neutral farm. And so I feel like this lead, like, if you're playing the map better as red team, should be just, like, way, way further. They should be up to, like, 15 to 2,000 gold and then, like, 2,000 to 2,500 XP at this point, if they're effectively. And they even had wards. Like, a big step in doing that is to get your wards out on the enemy buff when you can, and then start to invade them and group up and communicate that. But, like, they're not even doing that. Well, let me stop talking. This is some action going on. We are behind the tower. Kepri does have ult. Okay, that was a kind of early Kepri ult there.
That was pretty early. To get Afro ult there, that's pretty good for them. Bots might be in trouble. Yep.
Somehow this went well for the red team. There's a really big disco 2 in the middle of that. That's what I saw. I definitely saw like a big disco 2 come out. The Kepri ult was a little early. God, fucking Hui is just tearing it up. Oswald is a terror right now. Oh, and Nike made a rotation. This is so bad.
Rotating at 10 minutes. Oh no.
Rotating from behind. Ugh. This is not the play.
Yeah, if you're ever behind making these rotations,
it can be monk ass.
Just don't do it. Just go farm.
I don't know what's happening over here. Oswald's just holding W. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I'm pretty sure she proxied and didn't miss a wave for this. She got right, so I guess it's fine. But like, it's still monk ass to me. I don't like rotating that early.
She could have like got backs or something.
Got blacks, pressured blue maybe, right? Like, could have done a lot of stuff maybe. I don't like seeing my Nike over here.
Yeah, especially at 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's risky. It's not terrible because like if you do make that rotation, it impact the game, and like if you can clean up a fight, like it can be really really good. But like especially because she did proxy, so she had a lot of time to rotate.
Yeah, the way I see it is like the only time you should be rotating out of that lane is if it's like one, you've like proxied the wave, right? And you're looking for a fight at like a buff or like at Gold Fury. Like that's the only time you should be like rotating like out like this early, like at a red buff fight or like even the mid camps, like right mids or something.
Yeah, if you can communicate like right mids are spawning. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. That's a really big rotation, honestly, is if like if the enemy solo laner proxies and these are spawning, you can definitely look to fight on them. If the enemy or like if your solo laner isn't matching it, then like it just turns into a mismatch fight here. They can rotate into it pretty quickly. And if the enemy solo laner matches that rotation and follows, then they're losing farm because they haven't proxied yet. I don't know. I don't think it was a terrible rotation because she did proxy beforehand, but unfortunately her entire team died. But again, like we're not invading any buffs. That's my pet peeve so far in this game. Is like we had a big lead and we're just killing them, but like we haven't invaded anything. I don't think we've even taken backs from them yet.
Yeah, the lead is like roughly like what 2K?
Yeah.
Not even. Nah, it's like 1.5.
It's an interesting pluck. I don't know if that pluck was ever really good. If there were like more people there, that pluck kind of puts you in danger. We trade that one for one. I don't hate it.
They get Afro, which is like huge. They also get Afro beads.
Okay, I already see some really interesting things. We're gonna rewatch this. Okay, so I don't know if you saw when Hunbot's ult comes out, the rest of his team is walking away. So I think that there's some pretty big communication issues going on here. Because you are correct, we get the Afro ult pretty early and for pretty free, to be honest, right? I think she ulted like early on there, but then everyone turned around as my Hunbots is going in. So like when you see the Afro ult here, if you're wanting to play aggressive, you have your blink ult, you need to be communicating that like the entire time that Afro ult is like on her. And then as soon as it's done, you blink ult her and your entire team is following up. But it looks like we
hard diver, you know?
Yeah, but it looks like we communicated that super late, right? So like, okay, Afro ult. All right, I blink ult, right? But like as he's doing this, like his two carries like backed up and like I don't know if I even could show it by doing that, but like they turned around when Afro ulted. They didn't look for it.
I honestly don't even think they were like turning around. I feel like they were just cut off by like a Nesh cage as well. I feel like they just couldn't close that gap around the wall, you know? Like right here, he goes in.
Look, they both.
I guess they do step back a little bit.
Yeah, it's like if you don't take those steps back and you take them forward, they're like right here at this point. Which, like, admittedly, she got around the wall, which kind of sucks. So there's probably not any follow up here, but like that still like just shows like a mismatch communication to me at least. I think that like the Hunbot's ult was not called out very early. And then the disco ult bounces off. It looks like it just reset.
Pretty weird Hui ult, I'd say.
I think the Hui ult was just to get them out, because I think that would have gone bad for them if they didn't. Because they had used everything and not gotten much off of it.
I feel like here they just fight. Just look to this Ganesh.
Nike is rotating in, so is the Sobek. Big Nike
That is
ball.
a huge Nike jump.
That's a good Kepri ult. She has no ult. You can just kill her now. The enemy team isn't gonna get gold though.
Blue team actually does get gold. Wow.
Yeah. I feel like they just they're gonna kill this Nike because she doesn't have ult. It's super easy to kill without ult. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this just comes down to like they messed up. Like they invested so much into that red and didn't get anything. That was a really good silence spot. They can actually catch the Sobek pluck. Alright, but when they're back up here, like when you use the Hoonbot's ult, the Disco ult, what else was used? The Hui ult to disengage, like all three of those ults going down and not getting anything like kill wise is like really bad. I feel like, I don't know. I think maybe after you get the Hoonbots and like they're around the corner and you're not gonna be able to hit, you just jump out and reset. But I also think that maybe if we had blink ulted and communicated to our team better and managed to push them back, that maybe we could have caught them maybe right here and actually like killed them and was like full committed onto it. But like after we invest that much and don't get anything, it's pretty bad for us. They're gonna return some stuff, it looks like. Alright, so 2 kills for the gold. We had the lead. We get buffs. Do we get buffs?
They should just take all their buffs here.
Yeah. If we get buffs, I'd say it's worth. Take red. Take red, cowards. Alright, they're cowards. They also didn't drop any wards. Do they have? Yeah, they had wards on them. And they also didn't drop them, which is a pet peeve of mine. Because like this is where you want.
They had all this pressure and they just didn't ward it up.
Yeah, it's like you gotta drop your wards when you're up here. They are gonna take this tower. Who do you think comes out ahead from that?
I mean, I'd say it's pretty even. I don't know.
I think it's pretty even, but I think it's pretty bad for red team because they had the initiative. Oh, 2 towers is pretty good.
Yeah, I think they just come out on top if they get this tower.
It doesn't look like they're gonna get it. Even with the tower though, I feel like it's still pretty bad because like theoretically this should have been clean, like because they had a lead. If they played this cleaner, they could have just gotten gold for free, which might be better than getting, you know, trading gold for 2 towers and 2 kills. I don't know. They definitely managed to get some stuff out of it though, but I think that if they just grouped better and like didn't blow their loads on after they got out, it would have been pretty epic.
So the early rotation from Hui.
This is another miscommunication, right? So like, again, like if you're ganking this Nike and you know that she has jump, she's gonna jump away, and you're the solo laner. Like, why are you not saying I have blink pluck, right? Like that should be communicated when your team is like, I'm rotating, right? You can just say I have blink pluck for a jump. I'll play her jump, right? Because my Hui you should never be using is Ricochet with no like CC, yeah, like with no CC, unless like there's no CC to be had. Like you have to try to go for that bounce because there's no other way to gap close. But my Sobek has blink pluck, and she doesn't have beads, so like why are we using that ability? I don't know. She's still gonna die, but like it just feels like bad communication and sloppy. We should just be calling what CC we have. Alright, we got a kill. We should definitely be pressuring Pyro. We have our ADC over here. Give up tower, take Pyro maybe. I think you just trade it at this point if you can.
They definitely should get a Pyro here.
It's a little slow, but we're here now. Okay. Kepper's being a menace. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, epic reset. He's gonna get, yeah, I think that's a good trade. Getting the kill on the Pyro for the tier 1 tower and purple. I think that's pretty good. Punishing the Nike when her ult was just coming back up off cooldown, I think.
It's an interesting Sobek build, I think, as well. I'm looking at this here.
Ooh, the Contagion Rush. I mean, they are against Afro. I don't hate it, but I feel like it maybe
I feel like it's just overkill, you know?
Yeah, it's like we have a Divine, we have a Brawlers, but I don't hate it. His 3 has anti-heal too, though. Like, do you really need it?
Yeah, I think that's just the waste right there. I feel like Breastplate's just way better in that slot.
I will say that Contagion does have decent stats, though, so like it's not the worst item in the world to get for utility, right? Because it does have just decent stats on it.
It's not the worst, but like Sobek's like greatest like power spike, like, and I say power spike like sparingly, is like as soon as he gets CDR, like CDR is like his biggest power spike.
Yeah, because then you can just spam everything and be super annoying. Just plug.
And not having that like
that was
is
good.
Just very bad.
Yeah, that was super clean by the red team. That's perfect. Pluck into a pluck into the Hoonbot's ult. No beads is just dead.
Yeah, they're just pushing on like he's super hard.
Yeah, I like the push here as well. If we can find another pluck. Okay, we're a little too deep now. We didn't get a pluck off. We do have Kepri ult though, which is like super hard to.
Killing spree.
Wow, and that Hoonbots lives with just a shred of health. Okay, Hear me out. I think Khepri could have like big dicked when he was in the tower and just ulted himself and like plucked in. I think that's like a definite play that you can make is just like pluck in there and like ult yourself because the tower's gonna be hitting you instead of like running, and then you get off like he uses pluck to get out. Like this way you use your pluck aggressively, and like you still ult yourself, so it's like the same way either way. Again, that's a miscommunication. Hui is going in, everyone else is backing off, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can promise you, just based off of watching them, that Hui did not say that he wanted to go in there. Which, it isn't bad to go in there, right? Like, we just got 2 kills off of it. Like, clearly it works.
It's good, it just didn't seem like communicated.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't seem to be communicated.
Like, they still get those kills, but it's a lot cleaner if, you know, something's, like, said, I feel like.
Yeah. For sure, for sure.
Obviously, we don't have their comms, but, like, it's just what it seems like.
You can kind of guess things like that just based off of, like, watching. Like, when people are turning around and someone is looking for, like, a Hoonbot Splinkle, like, you can just tell that it's not being talked about, right? Like, he's not saying, I have Blinkle, I Blinkle, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And, like, the Hui isn't saying, like, I'm going in, like, fuck it, you know? Like, he just is in. Alright, we have gold coming up. We should be doing this on cooldown. We have such a lead now. Everything went really good for... Oh, we're doing fire. I like that. Okay. I'm down for that. We're 6k up. 18 minutes in. It looks like we have all our ults up too, except for Khepri ults. I'm down.
Yeah, now it seems like they're pushing their lead, which is like good by the red team.
Sure. Yeah, their mid game has been a lot better for like pushing the lead with the fight in left, and then the earlier on like looking for the fight on the red buff. Even though I don't think they executed it very cleanly.
Yeah, just making sure this X-Ball, Afro, Dishonored just don't reach late game is like their #1 priority right now.
Yeah, if they get to like even like late game, then it's really hard to kill any of them for sure. That's tragic. Again, I'm not sure about that disco. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's so like ambitious, or, like hopeful. This is like weird. Like all of this is like weird now, right? Like my Khepri is like really isolated when we're like looking for this. Like he's in the middle of this tower. I'm pretty sure he's about to die here. Like to be honest. And even if he, yeah, I feel like he might be
tanky, but we'll see.
Yeah, but like I don't like that hard commit onto the Nike there. Like when we have towers to push down everything. Like once like she jumps, just let her go and push tower with your team. Yeah, that's a dead dude.
Yeah.
He didn't even get off.
Really awkward.
Yeah, like he's just. I don't even think that he's super out of position so much as like the rest of his team is just doing something else.
I think he was just trying
like,
to gap for his Hun bots that was going in.
Oh, I guess, yeah, maybe he was reaching for him. Yeah, I don't know. It's so much simpler to just group as 5 here. Like, we got the speed, just group as 5 and then push tower together.
There's no need to do anything, like, risky like that.
Exactly. Like, we have a 7k lead in Fire Giant at 19 minutes. Like, you just take the normal push play. Because, like, their win condition is, like, letting Afro and, like, Susana get back in the game. So, like, you're kind of just giving them avenues to do stuff. Whereas, like, if you just push normally, they can't really ever do anything.
Yeah, they're pushing back here because one bus is in a vault.
Yeah, it's like they got Hoonbot's ult and the death. Like, they should definitely push for a little bit. Nike. Alrighty.
Ooh.
My Nike is a little too far ahead there. Ozzy has had a rough game on this Nike so far.
It happens. Everyone gets one.
Yeah. I feel like, okay, so like so far, I feel like Jungler got way more pressure out on the map early. Short Fuse, the Hoonbots like managed to gank like way more than the Susano was. Part of that I think is his lanes like enabled him because the blue team wasn't calming things very well. They weren't tracking him very well. So he's able to get off more ganks, whereas like maybe the enemy team, the red team, is playing around the Susano and actually communicating about where he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely feel like he's just had way more of an impact and got deaths out everywhere. I wish that they had grouped early to do some like red buff invades, because that would have been fun to watch. But unfortunately, they played it really slow. Kind of broke it open on that gold fight though. Gold into the Nike kill.
How do you feel about this X-Ball going crit from behind?
Let's see who is. I don't hate it. I'm not an ADC, but like I don't hate it. I think the crit is just super popular right now. But like, I also think that Pin is really good into frontliners. But
yeah, like the Sobek is just huge, and I feel like a Chen's just does so much more work there instead of the Rage.
Yeah, the Rage is like hoping that you can maybe get some kills, I guess, at some point to like enable it. But like, I don't know. That seems, I think Kins is just better because like you're not hoping to win like a fight down the road. You need to win like this fight, right? Like if you don't win this fight, then like the game's pretty much over anyways.
And just having that consistent damage is nice.
Yeah. Well, we got a Phoenix Siege. Khepri is in.
It's very in. He kills Susana. Ganesh gets a big cage.
Yeah, they're not gonna be able to push this though. They took so much free poke. Alright, like just rewatch this. Like watch how much poke we take for like free. Like you can play it, like we have Fire Giant for a while, I think. Not forever, but we have it for a little bit longer at least. Just want to rewatch this from point of view here.
Let's see what goes on here.
Alright, like we're just standing here, like you can pluck out. Reset. I don't know, I feel like we just took a lot of damage for nothing there.
Blue team should just back up and heal.
I also feel like Sobek is way tankier right now and should have been the one tanking now.
Yeah, he is super tanky with that mantle and Perdwin.
Yeah, I feel like you want to, on like a Phoenix Siege right now, I feel like you'd want to let like Sobek go in first because he is tankier and he has Blink, so he should just look to Blink pluck and then like instant ult when it gets beadsed, right? Because it's probably going to get beadsed. Depending on who you pluck, of course, but yeah, so you just look for the Blink pluck, let him take aggro, and like he can't die because even if he does go in too deep, like we have a Khepri ult, right? So I don't like my Khepri having to ult himself because he tanks tower or tanks Phoenix for so long. Right.
Yeah, just letting your Sobek blink in and create space while you try to get that Phoenix is way better, I think.
Like look how much physical defense this guy has. For those of you who don't know, Phoenix's Gold Fury, Fire Giant, they all do physical damage. So like he has pretty much 3 Fizz items, right? He would just not die to that thing very quickly.
It would definitely take a little bit, especially with Sobek passive. Like he is like extremely tanky right now.
Yeah. So I would have liked to see him tank that. I think that would have been a smarter choice. Let him engage with a Blink ult or Blink pluck. It feels like an ultimate ability sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You just pluck someone into instant death. It's like, okay, that thing's a little overpowered.
Yeah, they either engage there with a Blink pluck, get beads, and then he just insta ults, and like even like in his ult, he's like even tankier because
yeah, it gives like 40% prods or 30%, something like that.
I think it's 20%.
20%? I'm a bad coach. Here, we can check. Does it say? Am I stupid? Does it just not say? Oh, 30% prods. I am a good coach! Wow, bad solo laner, Leonard. Bad solo laner. Nice way to know your Sobek kit, dude.
I was close. Way
to know your Sobek kit.
What's the difference?
What's the difference? Yeah, I thought it was like 30 or 40. Whatever. I just said a bunch of percentages and hoped that one of them was right, to be honest. I don't like this. I hope that we don't push this left Phoenix. This is like really bad.
Yeah, you should just back and spend, no? They have a lot of gold in hand, I think, right? Check gold in hand.
Let's see. They do have a fair amount of gold in hand, and I'm pretty sure it's relevant gold. Like they haven't finished. Yeah, they haven't finished their builds on anyone. So backing and spending is definitely an option here. But even if you're gonna push, like let's do some Smite theory real fast, Leonard. So let's actually do this right here. Oh, I didn't mean to start again. Sorry. All right, let's do this. So I have a picture of a Smite map up, Leonard. That's all I have. So look at your Smite map. I'm doing this so that the chat can see. I don't think you can.
Okay.
But like, if you're theoretically gonna push a Phoenix, which Phoenix is the best to push, Leonard?
Definitely the side Phoenix.
Okay, which side?
Probably right there, dual lane side.
Dual lane side is the best Phoenix, correct. So the advantages of the dual lane Phoenix. Number one, it is the furthest away from Fire Giant. So if you have fire minions, like let's say that this Phoenix is down and blue side has to contend with fire minions. To clear them, they're over here clearing them. They're as far away from Fire Giant as possible. So the next Fire Giant, it pretty much gives you a huge advantage on the next Fire Giant because someone will eventually have to back and clear these minions, and then you can get your EFG, right? The other advantage that it has, or like the other reason it's better is it's the least risky to push in terms of if it were to go wrong, the punishment isn't there. And that's just a simple Smite geometry type of thing. So if you look at mid lane, it is the shortest lane, right? So
Yeah.
theoretically, mid lane is the like riskiest lane to push, because if you were to get wiped on it, the enemy team can push to your Phoenix much faster and take minions some of the time with them, right? Because it is very, very quick to just push down mid lane. Solo lane is pretty decent in terms of safety. Like, it is a pretty long lane. But, I mean, there's a reason they call dual lane long lane, right? So, like, if you're going to wipe someone over here, it's usually even faster to just run mid like that. And, like, through that little gap and push up mid. Like, that's faster to get to a Phoenix than it is to push down all the way through left, right?
Right.
So I would very much like for them to push. Also, in our specific game, if you guys can remember, we have already pushed the Phoenix over here. If you can see my mouse, this dual lane Phoenix is already weakened. So it's already easier to take that Phoenix. It's already like at 60% health. So there's really no reason I can see why you wouldn't push dual lane Phoenix here. But we will see if they go to it. But I will be very not happy if we push any other Phoenix.
Yeah, unless it's a 5v4, pushing this mid Phoenix is just never worth.
Yeah, it's like unless you have like a huge advantage, you want to just push now. But like that's not the case here. Like, I mean, they can easily go over to dual lane and push that.
Yeah, like they have time.
Yeah, I don't like this. Yeah. Well, I do like that they engaged better with the Sobek Blink Pluck though. He missed it, of course, but I mean, he did at least do that. I think he should have ulted right away. Like, he ulted at like 60% health. You could have ulted at like pretty much full health once you miss the pluck, and that way you get the extra prods, right? Like we talked about, it has those extra prods on it, so it would have been better to get them right away. They do want their Hoonbots I was looking at over there to split push, so they're doing like a split off jungler. The reason you do that is if you feel like your jungler has the advantage in the 1v1 and can maybe even get a solo kill off, which would be pretty huge. Yeah, our Blink Pluck is down, but I think we can definitely still push in. I think that this time you just have to walk. I don't know, you don't have ult, so you're not that safe, but you do have Kepri ult, so I feel like Sobek can still go kind of ham here. Just pluck the Nike or anyone, really.
I think the best thing they can do is get like Ganesh ult and disengage.
I was waiting for it. So Hoonbots has gone in.
Susana
dies instantly. Wow. I feel like Susana needs to just not die there. That's like his priority. So like when he blinks, you just like ult and then like beads right away. Like press 4, then press beads, and then like 3 out and like knock him up if he follows you with your ult. But like he's dead, so now it's looking pretty bad for the blue team. Except apparently not. Hoonbots gets the Phoenix. Get the Phoenix, Hoonbots on the left. Alright, Hoonbots gets the Phoenix. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Game winning, you know?
Should get a second Phoenix here.
Oh, that's upsetting. We did not have Kepri ult. Kepri ult was used earlier when the Nike went in.
Get the second Phoenix. They should just disengage here.
Yeah, get out. Hard get out. Hard get out. Now, that was really well played by them. I don't like that they were in middle. I feel like they could have easily gone to duo and done the same thing, but it's fine. And if, like, the argument is that you want your Kepri to be close to your Hoonbots, then you just have Hoonbots push mid and your team push right? And it's the same thing effectively. So, I dislike that we pushed the mid Phoenix, but it worked out in the end. I've always said as a coach that bad plays can work and good plays can go wrong, depending on execution and stuff. When your jungler solos the enemy jungler, it makes it pretty easy to push Phoenix. He actually soloed him and got the beads too. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Spending your beads and dying feels pretty bad. Alright, so we get buffs. Get buffs back. They're in a commanding position now. They should just be able to pretty much cleanly win off the next Fire Giant, probably. I'd like to see a lot of wards placed and like them to group up as 5 and just ward up together. And if you see anyone, it's a good fight, right? Because we still have Fire Giant on us and there's 2 Phoenixes down. So like if we wipe them here, we can like just pretty much end. So I would like to see them just like hard group and get all their wards out. We have Sobek Pluck too, so like if you find anyone, it's just so easy to kill them.
Yeah, this game should be closing out pretty soon, I think.
Ugh, we didn't even get the bubble. Upsetty spaghetti. Yeah. So they didn't find anyone. They didn't group and catch anyone out.
They just set up for this FG and just run it down again.
Yeah, I really don't like this, by the way. Like how spread we are. This is like super punishable by like if you're up against a team that's like has wards out, maybe like they don't even have sentry wards, so they very easily could be standing on wards and they would have no idea. So if you're against a team, we'll switch to blue side's perspective, who is sentry warding up and has the entire jungle warded pretty much right here. Like, they know that you're alone, and they'll just 5v2 you, because this is a great chance for them to get back in the game. You're so out of position, like, they can take this 5v2, kill both of you, and then like that gives them time to get their phoenixes back up, to get fire giant warded. It like buys them so much time if you die here. And there's like no advantage to this for red teams. Like there's no reason to ever be like taking a 2v5 or like looking for something like this. Just group up like way harder. I want everyone like way closer to each other. Like this is fine now. Like now we're in a fairly close position to each other. But I didn't like them being that spread out. Leo knows a thing or two about being caught out late game. It happens to the best of us, but
it does. I've been working on it.
It can stall out the game, something fierce. Alright, so we're just chilling for fire. I don't really think I'm gonna speed up because I don't think that anything should happen. That's fine. Double ward. Yeah, you're warded. And bots is alone in mid. All of this is like unnecessary. All of these little like cheeky plays that they're going for are just completely unnecessary, by the way. Same thing as what I said earlier. They're putting themselves into like a position where they might get like picked or something, like for nothing. Like there's nothing to gain there. Like you're not gonna 2v, like you shouldn't against a good team ever be able to like 2v5 kill them. So like there's no reason to be there. Just group up with your team. If you want to look for a pick, like have your Sobek like walk in front of your carries and look for plucks. Have your Kepri be up there. Don't have your mage and your Hunbots be up that far alone. Alright, the enemy team is actually contesting. We should fight here. As a red team, we should fight here.
They definitely should just be looking for the fight.
Nike's just pulled Nike. Okay, Hunbots gets a kill. Just go on Nike. Just go on Nike. Just go on Nike. Alright, we're killing the Nike. Okay. We might be killing the Nike. Okay, we trolled.
Yeah, she was in the backline for a long time.
Yeah,
Not getting
I don't know how we didn't just get Kepri pulled at some point there. Whatever, we'll kill her at the end. That could have killed her way sooner, but yeah. Hunbots kind of gets the kill like at the beginning of the fight again. So I feel like Hunbots is kind of like hard carrying, to be honest, this game. Pressure he put out early, the solo kills on Phoenix. I feel like he's kind of just carrying. Or at the very least, he's being very effective in what he's doing. Oswald's also putting out a ton of damage and like aggro
Red team
plays.
waiting for EFG is pretty good here too.
Yeah, for sure. For those of you who don't know, 30 minutes in the game, Fire Giant becomes enhanced. People call it EFG. And it gives a ton of extra bonuses as well as backdoor prot shred to Phoenixes, things of that nature. Alright. Now, I know earlier I said that dueling is the best Phoenix to push. The exception to that is this scenario where you have such weak Phoenixes. Once a Phoenix has died, when it respawns, it has less protections and less health, obviously, but less protections, and it does less damage. So these Phoenixes are what's called weakened Phoenix. They're very easy to push compared to this one. So I would like them to push the solo lane Phoenix now, and then I would have the Hunbot split mid. That's how I would personally arrange this. Because the left Phoenix is way easier to get. And if they attack on the left Phoenix, because it does less damage, you can actually fight on it a lot easier, especially when you're this far ahead. Like, they are still really, really ahead, and, like, the items are not finished over here for everyone. For some people it is, but not for everyone. So, like, you can still fight. We have power pots on them. We have Fire Giant. Okay, that disc ult was just kind of thrown out there, but it hit. Okay, we missed another Sobek plug. We got the Afro ult, get Phoenix. Sobek's in a little deep. Get mid Phoenix.
Susano's 1 HP, gets out of the one new one with bots.
Yeah, he did manage to survive the 1v1. Hunbots just needs to take a couple seconds to heal up with Fire Giant, probably. This wasn't that clean either. How could that have been cleaner? I feel like we missed Sobek Pluck, right? That's one thing. We also threw out our disco really early. I hit, though. Let's watch this. Nike goes in, they disengage. This is good by them, just chill. We have Fire Giant, we have all the advantage with time. I feel like we can push in on this one pretty hard now. I feel like we're like not really being, oh my gosh.
Oh, Ozzy.
Well. Alrighty. Well, we stacked for a 4-man Nike knockup. I don't know. I feel like we should just be way more confident on that Phoenix. Like my tank should just be like going in super hard, and we shouldn't be standing as 4 people right here. My tank should be just going in on this Phoenix.
Yeah, their only like form of damage is realistically Xbalanque and Susano.
Yeah. I don't know. That just felt so scared and passive. They're gonna stall it out again. So this is kind of where it gets a little scary. You need to like win the game within the next couple minutes as like red team, because if it gets like late and like they do get full items to get their pots and everything, it gets kind of scary against this team if they take a firefight. We'll see what happens. Do you push again? I mean, you still fire down to 4 people. I feel like you definitely push again, right?
Yeah, they could try for sure.
Because if you don't push again, then like the enemy team's gonna contest the next FG, and I feel like your fight with fire EFG like on a Phoenix is way better than the fight at Fire Giant without the Fire Giant buff on you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Also, they have the fire minions pushing, so like you see, Susano had to clear out a wave. Pushes them a little bit off the side of the map. We're in mid again. I really don't like pushing mid here. I'm scared. Maybe it's fine. Yeah. Again, it's just like mid's so scary. This is dead Nike. And short fuse again gets the 1v1 on the right side against the Susano. Yeah, this should be game. Alright, so what are the takeaways from this game, Leonard?
0-8 Nike.
That is a takeaway. So, tracking the enemy jungler early. Blue team really struggled to track the rotations. Both times that he got early picks, his first 2 kills in both side lanes, he had been seen walking into that side of the jungle and had not shown back up in mid. And so they should have been called out and very easily known that they were over there, right? My Ganesha might have misleveled ability at level 2, or maybe he just gets the silence. I don't know, but like, if he gets the silence, you shouldn't put yourself out of position. You should just beads the Kepler that plucks you. Like, you can't die there to the Hoonbots that's in your jungle, and he should know that he's over there if the team is communicating properly.
Honestly, another like critique I have like is like mainly for Uzi, right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm a soul laner, he's a soul laner,
Yeah, you guys get each other. Yeah.
I think once they're like sieging these Phoenixes, I think instead of like being that like front line, he can like hover, like you see like the corridor like between the Phoenixes, the entrance.
You talk in base?
Like right there, yeah.
Like right here?
Like right here.
Yeah.
He can just like hover there, and if his Susano ever wants to like take the 1v1, he can like just call his Nike over as well, because like she can like close that distance like really well. Mm-hmm. And if they like play it right, he can just like kill the Hun bots with his Susano.
Yeah, maybe help try to get the 2v1 and then
I think that's honestly how you bring that game back.
I do feel like he played the Phoenix Sieges pretty well though. Like he was getting like he got like a huge knock up there and everything like that.
He did.
I do feel like he impacted it, but I get what you're saying. Maybe he could have looked for like the 2v1 since the Hoonbots was winning them so hard.
Especially like during their like first Phoenix Siege. I think if he did that, like it would have been like so much better for them.
For sure. Let's see. I also think that a critique for the blue team. The red team, whatever this team is. The team that's winning. I definitely feel like they could have pushed their early lead better once they got those 2 kills. Like they didn't invade any buffs for like the first 10 minutes of the game. They didn't really make any aggressive plays until that gold like fight at like 12 minutes when they had like a huge lead. So they didn't get any buffs, and they also were losing neutral farms. So I feel like honestly, in terms of farming the map, blue team farmed the map way better this game than red team did for the first like 15 minutes for sure. Let's see. And any other critiques? I didn't like the spacing out by Fire Giant, like by my mid and jungle to be up here spaced out. That was really weird. Like just group as 5 and push in together if you want to look for a pick. Don't move up as a mid laner by yourself. I can hear. I've coached mid laners before. I've actually coached Josh Goggles in the past. I love Josh. I can hear his voice. I can't die there. I beats Aegis. There's no way I die there. Okay, but like you never want a fight to start with them engaging onto you. So why would you have a fight start by being out of position, right? Even if you don't die, like having to spend your relics and spend like Kepriel to like save you is like not an optimal fight for us. So like just group as 5. Make it simple,
If you ever want to start a fight, don't let your mage do it. Just let one of your tanks, eat shit for you.
Yeah, let them eat shit. That's what they're there for. Fucking get me totem and eat shit, solo laners, right, Leo?
Pretty much,
Is that the title of this YouTube video? Solo laners get totem and eat shit.
Yes, there it is.
But anyways, I think that's about the biggest takeaways. Obviously, some things with communication is like the biggest one. I think that's a big gap between like lower teams and like top teams. It's just like these habit like communication things that every player who wants to be like on the top should have. You should be calling out where the enemy jungler is early, right? You should be communicating that you're gonna Hoonbot's Blink ult well before you do it on that red fight. Everyone should know that that is the play there well before you even do it. You need to call that in advance. 5 seconds before. Say, I have Hoonbot's Blink ult. Yeah, I'll blink ult. I can play her ult. After ult. Okay, and then you go in, right? And your entire team knows what's happening. So little things like that, like, I think are like a big gap between these teams that are like top SOC teams as compared to like top SCC SPL teams. But anyways,
For sure.
That's it for me today. Make sure you guys follow Dishonored on Twitter, at Dishonored_SM. Follow him on Twitch. It's not an @ right? It's just Twitch/TV/ whatever the fuck it is. Dishonored_SM. He has great emotes. Yep. All right. Bye.